I suppose we could call this section advanced bullet writing, but in my mind, it's all the stuff that you've got to get right anyway if you're going to write really good bullets. Now, we just covered different types of bullets and how to express benefits through your bullets. But let's talk about how to punch your bullets up. So the first one, the first tip here, this one is interesting, is write to the 7 deadly sins. So what are the 7 deadly sins? Greed, envy, lust, sloth, hubris, anger, and gluttony. So, you can pick any one of those, and let's say you're doing a weight loss offer, you can talk about, and let's say the weight loss offer had a cheat day. And if you don't know what a cheat day is, it's that you diet for 6 days a week, and then one day you just binge and eat whatever the hell you want. Certainly you would use a gluttony bullet, and for that case you'd say, discover how stuffing your face full of pizza, pasta, ice cream, and all of your other fatty foods can actually help you reduce weight, and is even necessary if you're in advanced stages of fat loss. So that would be a pretty good way to talk about and to sell the concept of a cheat day. Greed would be an easy one to sell with any sort of investment course or anything that's going to help them make money or increase their personal ownership of whatever. Sloth is an interesting one. Sloth is often used when you look at something like the easy way, the lazy man's trick to, the simple solution for. So anything where it doesn't require a lot of work, sloth is going to factor in. You see that one a lot. Lust, I don't need to tell you, we use lust in many of our bullets. And even envy, you can use envy in an interesting way, something to the extent of, your friends will be dying when they see X, Y, Z that you've achieved based on, what you've purchased here. So that's the first way to write, to punch up your bullets, is to write to the 7 deadly sins. The second way, the advanced bullet principle, is to solve a problem that they'll have when they succeed. So this is an interesting sort of move. We also do this later on when we introduce our bonuses. But think of it this way, and we'll use our course as in context. If somebody buys the girlfriend system and they get a loyal, loving girlfriend, then one of the problems they might have is, let's just say, I'm just coming up with something crazy, but let's just say she becomes a nymphomaniac and she becomes crazy for sex. Maybe one of our bullets is something along the lines of, when you finally land your girlfriend, she will be out of her mind, ravenous for you sexually. Make sure that you follow the advice in section 9 to keep her pleased and to keep your stamina elevated to where you can keep up with her. So something along those lines where you're not even solving a problem that the prospect currently has, but you're solving a problem that he or she will have once they purchase this. So, a humorous example, if you were to sell something that everybody wanted, like a really, let's just say it was the best cooler ever invented, you could have a bullet in there that said something like, free add-on, an electrical shock collar to keep people away when they want to steal your cooler. So that would obviously be a joke, but that would be another example of a problem that you would have when somebody purchased your product. That's another, a great way to punch up your bullet. Again, solve a problem that they'll have when they succeed with the core promise. You can also help them overcome a crucial sticking point. So maybe there's something that's really got them stuck, and that's the thing that's going to sell the course. So, if you look in ours, again, let's repeat the bullet from the earlier section. I'll give you one sneaky but ethical strategy to get a woman who's unattainable. Either she friend-zoned you or she has a boyfriend. Use this and she'll think about what a mistake she made. Fair warning, women can become very sexually aggressive when they want to prove themselves to you. So this is one of those bullets that it solves a problem that the guy is definitely positively having at this moment, which is that he's got a woman who's unattainable in his life. He's not even thinking about going out and meeting new women. He's just like really hung up on this one woman right now. So that is an example of overcoming a crucial sticking point. Another good one, if you have a hard, let's say we're selling something for diets, you could help them overcome the sticking point of, I don't know, overcome your sugar. Like, you'll never lose weight if you have a sugar addiction. So on page 3, I tell you how to cut your sugar cravings to minimal levels in no time flat, without the pain associated with withdrawal. a lot of words to throw in there. So that would be another example of helping them overcome a crucial sticking point that is between them and their goal. Another way to punch up your bullet is to give it a name. So the lazy man's secret, or the low-hanging fruit principle, or I call one of the things in the girlfriend system king game. So how to run game like a king. It's a concept that kind of resonates in people's mind, and so these are when you give something a name, it all of a sudden becomes a bit of a mechanism of its own, and people say, "Oh, I want that mechanism. I want to learn that thing." And then finally, and this is my favorite way to punch up bullets, is to expand on the consequences to create a future projection. So what does that mean? It doesn't. Let's take a simple bullet. Let's just find one right here. I'm going to tell you 3 lies that pickup artists try to sell you. It's not their fault because they don't know any better. So that would be a standard bullet. And then here's where we take it further. But if you've bought into these lies, and I can promise you'll never have a truly special girlfriend ever again. So here's where I'm kind of future projecting and talking about something that will happen to them in the future. Another one from our favorite bullet that we've been dissecting the hell out of. Fair warning, women can become very sexually aggressive when they want to prove themselves to you. So that's future projecting. It's talking about this outcome that's going to happen when they use this bullet. Let's see. Here's another one. I'll tell you how and when to make each move, asking her out, going for the kiss, escalating to sex. So that's a standard bullet. To make it better, to punch it up, I added, you'll never wuss out again because you'll know exactly what she secretly wants you to do. So now we're future projecting. We're telling him, hey, it's not going to be a problem. You're going to be in this situation, and you're going to know exactly what you need to do. There's another one that I've got that I really want to find because I know that this one is really powerful. Let's see if we can find it here. Yeah, okay, here we go. So this is a good one. So I want to give you, okay, here we go. Now you've got to know how to take it to the hoop. So I'm using a metaphor here. Even if you failed to make a move in the past, or you didn't know how because you wussed out, you will never have that problem again. So, this is the bullet. And then I do the future projection. You'll taste the desire in her breath moments before the kiss when you take her into your bedroom, you'll know how to get her naked in 10 minutes or less. By following my system, you'll make the right move at the right time every time. So trust me, these are common problems that guys have. They have no idea how to kiss a woman. They have no idea how to move from kissing her to being physical. So, the specific language is you'll taste the desire in her breath moments before the kiss. We're really trying to create this visceral visual image and feeling of what's going to happen for the guy when he uses this and when he puts it to work. So that's many examples of future projections, and I find that those take ordinary bullets that are so-so and they just make them incredibly powerful and create that visceral visual experience. So let's just review how to punch up your bullets right to the 7 deadly sins, solve a problem that they'll have when they succeed, overcome crucial sticking points, give your bullet or the thing you're talking about in a name and even a mechanism like the lazy man's secret or the low-hanging fruit principle, and finally expand on the consequences to create a future projection of awesome or incredible or, in the case of negative outcomes that you don't want the prospect to achieve or that you know that he or she can achieve if they purchase your product. How should you order your bullets on the page, whether it's a squeeze page or a sales page or a sales letter or what have you? The first bullet should generally restate the big idea and the mechanism. So I know this seems like something that you'd say, oh, well, they've been hearing about this promise for the entire course of the sales letter. fair, but you want to be just crystal clear about bashing them over the head with the fact that this is something they are going to learn. So, you know, to pull something from the girlfriend sales letter, let's just find it right here. Let's see, it is, okay, so here's what you'll learn in the girlfriend system. 7 things that no other guys know to activate her obsession story. None of them requires looks or money. So we're just making it absolutely clear right at the start, hey, you're gonna learn things to activate her obsession story. This is the mechanism we've been talking about the whole time, and none of them requires looks and money. That's a big part of the big idea. So we want to restate the big idea and the mechanism in that first bullet. The next few bullets should generally be very specific mistakes and you know, mistakes that you don't want them to make or outcomes that you're going to promise for them. So very specific things that they're either struggling with or that you know that you can help them solve, or sticking points. And then the next bullets, the final bullets, I find it's great to promise broader outcomes and feelings. So this is where we're getting a little bit more expansive. We're talking about how this is going to have an effect on their overall life, their overall sense of well-being, and really painting that visual of the future world and the perfect world that they're going to live in. So, you know, if we think about the arc of a person who's going through these bullets, again, they're getting hit with the mechanism and the big idea in that first one. It's like, okay, got that one solved. But wait, there's still all these other problems that I have. Okay, but we're going to knock out this problem, this problem, this problem, and this problem. Those are our specific bullets. Oh, cool. Okay, so we're getting those knocked out. And you're going to get this, 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 and this, and your world is going to be so freaking perfect that you're never going to want to leave it. All right, so we're kind of taking the prospect on this emotional arc as we're describing the bullets. Now, how do you know that you've got great bullets? Well, they look and they feel like the bullet templates that we have provided for you. They feel real. You've explained consequences and you've gotten very specific with them. So it's not just 3 steps to blah, blah, blah. It's 3 steps to blah, 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 and here's what is going to happen. Here's how you're going to feel. Here's how your life is going to change. You really want to just give them something they can sink their teeth into and feel really like, I want this outcome in my life. That feels real. That feels like something that I can achieve. And then finally, and this is a tough one, is that they are unique for your market and they don't sound like every other bullet and promise. And if you're going into a crowded market, like weight loss or dating or one of these things with an info product, then it's tough to innovate and it's tough to come up with new bullets. But you know, we've done it again and again, and it's all about, you know, reading the temperature of the market, you know, seeing what the current state of the art is, and then picking new words, new promises, new outcomes, and hopefully those being matched by your compelling new product or offer that is going to change a few lives. So that is how you know that you've got great bullets. We've got the templates here for you. Have fun writing these. I mean, you can sit around if you've got, you know, some copywriters, or if you're just you know, hanging out by yourself. These are fun to sit down and write and just kind of come up with, and, you know, set an hour aside, just put the timer on and say, okay, I'm just going to write bullets and write more bullets and write more bullets and come up with nonsense and see what comes out and see what's in my product, and hope that the two match and figure out the ones that sell. So that is bullets and benefits. We will be moving on to testimonials next.